Hey, everybody, you're on Monday Night with Mike. And I have a friend of mine on here, Matt Hamilton. Say hi, Matt.
Hello, everybody.
I'll talk about Matt in a minute. You're gonna love him, by the way. Students, you're gonna love this guy. But hey, last week I was up in Alaska. Awesome time running around with the schools there. I was at all the schools. So I was at Heidelberg, Klawock, Thorn Bay. I was at Knockety. We had some kids from Kaufman Cove come over. I mean, we had such a great time up there. I mean, it's such a beautiful place, and hanging out with all you guys, it was great. So shout out to Alaska. I miss you guys, and I'll see you. I'm coming back up there in May, so it'll be a great time. I have my friend Matt Hamilton, and he's a famous guy actually, because he is Teacher of the Year up in Michigan. Also nominated for Teacher of the Year nationally. He's one of the top 5 finalists. He won't find out till February whether he made it or not, and I'm betting that he's going to be Teacher of the Year because he's such an amazing guy. Here's why he's amazing. He started this thing called the Shoe Club. I want to let him explain it to you, but I went up to his school in 2008 and did an assembly because there was some tragedies up there. There were a couple of kids had passed away all in like a really short period of time. And so I went up, did my shoe presentation, walking around other people's shoes, telling stories, that kind of thing. And Matt, you took it from there. So tell us what happened.
Yeah, you came and spoke at our school after a couple of tragedies, and I was teaching eighth grade at the time, and my students were. After you came and spoke again, you blew up our school, and kids, just uh, with your story of empathy and care and love and value. And my students were coming to me, before school, at lunch, and after school, just sharing their story with me and what they were going through. And as a teacher, I stood up. This was at the end of February, early March. And so I had my students for roughly 6 months. And my students came to me every day with a smile on their face. And I thought everything was great. And then they started sharing with me what was behind their smile and what they were struggling with and what they were going through. And I was like, holy cow, I never knew this. And so then I couldn't sleep for a couple of weeks, just trying to think about how I can support my students and how I can help them. And then I came up with the Shoe Club, and then the Shoe Club is for seventh and eighth grade students. And it's a club that teaches them to value themselves and others through dreaming big, setting goals, working hard, and giving back. So we do all kinds of projects and, leadership training. We visit universities, we do community projects. And our projects are pretty big. Just for example, we raised $70,000 to put a solar panel, solar array on our school roof. We've raised $75,000 to enhance our elementary school garden. And then this past year, we raised $160,000 to build a park for veterans. We worked along with the American Legion in our community, and we helped enhance this veterans park. We wrote a book called Stories of Service, where we interviewed local veterans and published that. And then we took a trip to Gettysburg right after school got out. So we do some pretty incredible things because we have incredible kids that put a lot of time, effort, and sacrifice into this club. So yeah, we've been doing it for a long time. And another big part of the project or part of the club is once they join. And by the way, kids have to join the club. They have to read your book, Value Up, and write a paper about, what they thought, what they learned, what they're going to change, how it made, how is their thinking different as a result of reading that book, because that's a pretty incredible book. And then they also have to do community service hours and write their 10 life goals. So they got to do a lot of work. There it is. Oh, I love that book. My students do
So
too.
the cool thing is that you started reaching out to famous people and asking them to donate their shoe, and really not highlighting the people, but highlighting their journey of working hard and perseverance, and going through hard times, and making something out of their lives, dreaming big and all that stuff. So you got some pretty incredible shoes hanging in your classroom along with the kids hanging their shoes next to them. Do you have some of the shoes with you?
Yeah. And just to reiterate that, or when I started the shoe club, when the kids joined the club, they gave me I asked for their shoe, and we use shoes as a visual. Not only, it's a visual, so the kids come in my room and they see that shoe. And so it's burned in their brain, the message of the shoe club. but it's also that message of, walking a mile in these other shoes, and, because everybody has a story. So I started just collecting my students' shoes and hanging those in my room. And then I came up with the idea. I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try to get some inspirational people who live out the values of the club and who dream big, set goals, work hard, and give back. And again, I don't collect any perfect people's shoes, because, I'd only have a pair of sandals up on the wall if I did that. So I have, I collect my students' shoes, and I also have some pretty incredible inspirational people's shoes. For example, we got Kobe Bryant sent us a pair of his shoes.
The late great.
Yeah, we got Steph Curry's shoes here.
Wow.
There's only been 12 people that walked on the moon, and Charlie Duke was the 10th man to walk on the moon. And as you can see, these are his well-worn, they were his running shoes.
He didn't walk on the moon with those shoes, right?
He did not walk on the moon. Kind of looks like he did, but he walked a lot of places with those things. And, this week we just got Mayuchi Prada, who is, the owner and designer of Prada, the brand Prada, which these are very, my kids call them cheese grating shoes. The band Kiss, these are really unique shoes.
Oh, you're kidding me.
These are Paul Stanley from the band Kiss.
I'm going to steal those.
Looks like he stepped in some gum or something. I'm not sure.
I hope it's gum.
Yeah, these are super cool. Crazy zebra spiked. I don't know. That's crazy. Bruce Springsteen, wore these on stages all over the world. We got, if you're into skiing, we got Michaela Schifrin, one of the best alpine skiers in the world. These are a pair, she sent a pair of her boots that she won a world championship in. Pretty incredible. That's Jane Goodall, one of the most just impressive human beings, sent us a pair of her loafers that, again, she's worn all over the world, speaking and touring. Then we got Bernard Lafayette. I try to get a wide range of people. I've got almost every athlete, an athlete from every sport represented in my classroom. We've got inventors, we've got business people, we've got Nobel Prize winners, we've got all kinds of people represented that sent us their shoes. This one is Bernard Lafayette. He was a civil rights leader. He was with Dr. Martin Luther King on the day he was assassinated.
Wow.
And, just in prison, beaten up, life threatened, and he kept going. I'm just an incredible guy, an incredible story of what he did to help change the world. I love this guy. We got, this is a fan favorite, is Dolly Parton's Red High Heel. She wore this, her rock and roll album just came out last year, I think it was, and she wore this high heel while recording that album. So
she signed it too, didn't she?
Yeah, she's I just saw her on the news last night. She just donated $1 million to the flooding relief. We've got Shaquille O'Neal's massive. Just to
Look
give
at
you
that
an idea,
thing.
this thing is absolutely massive next to my head here. This guy, I have no idea how somebody's this big, but this is Dolly Parton's. This is crazy. This is wild. So
wow.
And my
That's
personal
awesome.
favorite, one of the coolest shoes in our collection.
Mike Donahue.
Mike Donahue. It's one of the first shoes we got several years ago.
Throw
you
that
only
thing
gave me
away.
one. These are actually my
two?
size, so these are actually kind of cool. Cool shoes.
That's cool.
So
Well,
with the shoes, like you said, these are pretty incredible people, and they've done incredible things, and we try not to glorify their success or the person themselves. We try to glorify the journey that they took to become successful. Because these people, Dolly Parton, for example, grew up in poverty with several siblings, growing up in a 2-bedroom cabin, basically, and just the amount of resilience and perseverance it took to become successful. I mean, this is pretty much all these people. Everybody has a story, and they've all been through some incredibly difficult times, but yet we see them now as successful adults and just think they're lucky or they've always been like this. And then you learn their story and you're like, wow, it's pretty inspiring to learn about some of these people and what they've been through and how they got to be where they're at. So again, it's a mindset, and anybody can do it.
That's it. And that's the beauty of this thing, is that it's, I love that your kids get to hang their shoes next to their heroes' shoes and give them an inspiration for, not becoming famous, but being effective, being who they are and being successful whatever that means for them. And I love that because it does take perseverance. It takes hard work, and you're such a good role model for that. And so thank you for coming on. You're talking to students all over the country right now. What's the one thing you want to say to them? And we'll end the podcast with that.
Oh, value. You are incredibly valuable no matter what you've been through, no matter what you're going through right now. And you're awesome.
Awesome. Hey, Monday Night with Mike. I'm glad you guys are on. Next week I get to go to. I'm going to do a couple schools in Nebraska, then Chicago, and then I have a school in South Dakota, and then that next week I'm back in Nebraska. So it's been a crazy fall for me. I've been running around, but shout out to all the schools in Alaska like I did last week, and look forward to seeing some of you in the future. So Monday Night with Mike. All right. See you later, guys. Bye.